I'm Paul Williams from Extra Bold, and as a brochure design company based near Glasgow, I get asked a number of things. One of them is about what, in terms of production, what do I need to be looking at? If I'm looking to produce a brochure, what form does the final product have to take, and what things do I need to think about to get it to where I want it to be? So I suppose the main things to think about are you need to think about your business, who your target market is, how you want them to react. You need to think about obviously what your budget is, and what you're prepared to do really to get what you want. So I think in terms of producing a brochure, in terms of the finished product, if you like, I would say that things like quality, quantity and price, budget, if you like, are probably your main criteria, I suppose, things you need to think about. Quality is going to vary, obviously, depending on what you want to portray, what your budget is, who your potential customers are, how you want them to react, all of those sorts of things. There are many different ways of producing stuff, printing stuff, outputting stuff, and the knack is to find the right one, the one that not only gets the finished quality that you want, but that will enable you to do it within your budget. For example, in terms of volume, if you have, you're going to need a large volume print run, for example, because you're mailing out to a large number of contacts on your database. You can look at the possibilities of what you can do with lithoprinting, with other, what I call whistles and bells, things you can add on to that as well. If your budget will allow, you might want to do other things. You might want to cut a special shape, for example. You might want to stand out in that way. You might want to add a specific colour that you can't get in your normal print production run for a specific reason. So there's any number of things you might want to do. On the other hand, if you're only targeting a very small number of people, you're going to run into a problem with budget if you try and go down the litho route. We now have good quality digital print, which has been quite a boon really for many small businesses, because you can now produce good quality full colour materials, very low print runs, as low as one, for reasonable money. And that's a good option for people who are on a tight budget, and for people who don't need huge quantities of print. They don't want boxes and boxes of print sitting around in their stationery cupboard for years on end. It's good for that. There's always a compromise in any method that you use. There will always be a compromise, and that's why you need to figure out what's the best route to go. As I mentioned, with lithoprinting, you're talking about larger print runs. If you're going to use it, that's great. As I mentioned, with digital, lower print ones, the problem with it is that it doesn't quite match litho in terms of quality. You can do things with litho print you cannot do with digital. So if there are some of those things you want to do, it might rule digital out, in which case you are looking at upping your budget a bit, you're looking at upping your print run a bit to do that. So yeah. If you found this information useful and you'd like to receive 3 free videos which feature the top 3 questions that I tend to get asked as a brochure designer, then all you need to do is go to www.brochuredesignglasgow.com, and there you can also get information about the free appraisal which I offer, where I'm happy to sit down with you and appraise your current materials, and also a money off voucher. So thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you soon.